with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, just hours after Prince Harry and Meghan revealed their newborn son to the world, the child's name has been announced, and boy, people lost some money on this. This was heavy bookings, apparently, on all those betting sites. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have named their child Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor.
Oh, that is off the board.
Yeah.
That's not one of the options.
No, it was not. Before the announcement.
Oh, that's where I got the long thread this morning. I don't know what to do. I have a group of guys who text, but they all know what's going on, and I don't know what's going on.
They jump in mid-conversation.
I wake up this morning, and I've got my phone, and it's Danny Two Sheets Kellison, it's Jimmy, and it's cousin Sal, and it says, like, Sal's kids, one of his sons is Archie, and the other one is Harrison. So it's Archie Harrison, and I just look at the phone and it says, Archie Harrison, what are the chances? And I'm like, oh.
You mean you don't
know what the chance?
You don't check Twitter at 6:30 in the morning?
I have no idea what's going on, and now I want to weigh in, but I don't have a perspective because I'm not sure what's going on, and now I know.
There it is. Now, before the announcement, the name Spencer had 4-1 odds because that was the maiden name of Princess Diana, but they didn't go with it. Other top picks for the royal baby name were James and Alexander, both 5-1 odds. Archie was nowhere on the list.
You guys help me.
I like it. It's cute.
Help me with this one. Somebody praising you or doing something for you because of circumstances, like, oh, they have to kiss you. You know that scene where it's like you go in and there's some realtor chick and she's like, oh, I'm a big fan, and you look great in this house. Had a new jacket or whatever, like realtor chicks. Like, they have to be nice to you. Like, they have to be nice.
Yeah.
Part of the job.
And I never really take it as a compliment. It's like, that's just them doing what they're doing. And then there's other situations where you do something, or it's another comedian and he saw your set, he's impressed, or he said, hey, man, I read your book, man, and I gave it to my wife and she loved it, or whatever. Like, the real, I've seen your work, I appreciate your work, versus I have to be nice to you sort of thing.
Yeah.
When you're royalty, and it's like your life is like a world of people have to be nice to me. I was just born into this, and I went through a little military training, and I did a bunch of shit that everyone does, but everyone really has to make a big deal out of it, and they really have to be nice to me. That would just be a world of discomfort for me. I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't feel good about myself.
Most people would like it.
I think they would.
They would just deny that. They would just do self-denial and go, I am that great. Yeah.
But don't you...
I do need it. I do deserve it. Why wouldn't I?
Don't you guys sort of draw a straight line between how you feel about yourself to your accomplishments or what you've gotten done? Or, like if my dad was super famous and everyone's just super nice to me because my dad was like super famous, it'd be weird. Like,
well, that's why like Schwarzenegger wanted to be governor, because If you're a movie star, one weekend when the movie comes out a year, you're all over the place. But if you're the governor, everywhere you go, you're the star. That's why the politics is like, show business for ugly people, they say. But it is. There's that excitement every time. So I think there is a draw to it. I think people who get sucked into it, it's the potential for disaster for them. People to do bad shit because of it, because they believe the hype.
Well, I'm just saying, for him and then for her, she married into it. Mm-hmm. And I know everyone no one ever thinks this way, but I would think this way. I would just feel weird, just like married into this world.
You have to be pretty conscious of it.
I want to...
That's what sucks, because I have 3 daughters. I have 2 little daughters, and they're watching these things where, like, so that's the thing, the hope for is like the Cinderella, like you're abused your whole childhood, and then all of a sudden your life's depending on some guy saving you.
He's going to rescue you.
That's it. You got to wait for that guy. The guy's that's going to come.
You better be hot or he's not coming by.
Yeah. The great end to this story is going to be when Meghan Markle's dad... When we do King Ralph 2. John Goodman's from Milwaukee. He swills beer, but he's going to be king.
There's a sister who came right and said, I demand this. She's my sister. She's my half-sister. Well, I'm going to see her. I'm not leaving. Step this way, please. We're having you removed.
Yeah, the only one who's been invited inside the walls is the mom. Otherwise, the Markles are persona non grata.
That's cool, though. I love that. It's got to be great. That's what I like about him, her husband. It's like, he was like, I'm fine with all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
Fucking hot.
Next one.
Well, speaking of baby names, it's just funny because it all happened at the same time. Amy Schumer revealed the name of her son as well.
Also Archie Harrison. Weird.
Yeah, and it was completely a coincidence. His name is Gene Attell Fisher. Amy Schumer shared the name of her newborn son on social media.
It was a tweet launched toward employees of Chick-fil-A. And she talked about long hours,
day laborers,
hot work conditions, and then at the end,
dignity.
What's her kid's name?
Gene Attell Fisher. Now, I don't know if you know this. I listened to a podcast when I heard him talking about it. I guess she's known. I don't know this for sure, but it seems like it's sort of homage to Dave Attell because apparently they were childhood friends, and his mom would babysit her, and they kind of grew up together. So it would make sense that that's the connection there. But I can't confirm.
I would be so much funnier if my mom was best friends with Dave Attell's mom. Her best friend was Dorothy Gravich. She was a substitute school teacher and the angriest person I've ever met in my life.
My mom never got any jokes. She had great laugh, though. She'd go, ha, ha, ha. What does it mean? Please tell us, what does it mean? I don't understand.
Dorothy Gravich was so mean that I got caught pulling a plum off of her plum tree, like in front of her house, and she gave that, "You march yourself right home, young man," like all this stuff no one would ever say in a million years. Can you imagine you walk outside your house and one of your kid's friends, 9-year-old, has climbed up the tree and is picking himself a plum, and you just unleash on him like, young man, excuse you. Veins coming out of your neck. Excuse, hold my cigarette. Young man, you march yourself off of that tree. You turn around, you march yourself home right now. It's like, who had all this time as an adult when I was a kid? Like, these guys would come outside in their fucking slippers and bathrobe and start yelling at you.
So many
It's
gotcha
like,
moments.
What is that? I'm not doing anything.
No, what you say is, hold on, let me get you a Ralph's bag because you can get more and take them home with you.
If I saw somebody picking fruit to consume it, like not chucking it at a plate glass window, like I'm going to go to the church and take out some stained glass, just to eat it because I was poor and hungry. And
you weren't pissing on their station wagon.
Right. They just start screaming at everybody.
It's insane.
It is, right?
Yeah,
but I knew 30 adults that were that way. Young man, excuse you. Did you buy that peanut butter? Then who's you march yourself, young man, step away from the pantry. You march yourself into that living room.
That might work in your house.
Oh, it's like a lot of is that yours? And by the way, they knew the answer. Your feet are up on the coffee table. Did you purchase that guy? Yeah, I'm 9. So I went down to fucking Pier 1 and fucking did it in cash, bitch. I brought it with me. And when I go to friends' houses, I bring my own coffee table because I like putting my Tootsies up. It's a circulation problem. No, I didn't purchase it.
I think
a lot of open-ended questions back then.
I think Amy Schumer's gotten a bit of the taste of like I need to be a political statement at this point.
Well, her act has changed quite a bit since she started. Because she used to play sort of a caricature of herself, but I don't think that's the way anymore.
You should never apologize for a joke. I agree with Bill Burr 100% on that, no matter what. Especially going back in time and apologizing for something from the past. It's like, it's not she used to have a joke, and she used to say, I used to date Hispanics men. Now I like consensual.
Hold on, Dorothy Gravich says, you take that joke, young man, you march it right back to the steno pad.
That's a joke. I mean, people got to know, hey, this is a joke. I'm not making a statement about, I'm not running for president. My first statement is, these people, I'm sure some of them are good, but they're rapists, they're murderers.
The first joke my wife ever said to me when we were dating, she just said, why shouldn't you hit a Mexican on a bicycle? And I was like, I don't know, why not? She went, that might be your bike.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just remember
you better march that joke. You, young lady, you take that joke. You turn around.
Did you buy that joke?
You march that right
No.
back.
They used to have. If you could went into B. Dalton or whatever the bookstore back in the 70s was, there used to be like a rack of all racist jokes. I mean, literally, there was like the Polish, the Mexican, the Italian, the Croatian. Name your pick.
Croatian was always sold out. There was always a back order. All the Croats in the neighborhood, you want to settle their hash, but never having the verbal ammunition to do it. Well, finally.
Yeah. Wait a minute, that cover the pizza that you're eating pizza on, that's our flag. Well, the Croatian joke.
All right. Let's
do it.
Let's do a couple more, Gina Grant.
All right. Well, Donald Trump began his day on Twitter fighting back against the New York Times, which published 10 years of his IRS tax records showing business losses of more than $1 billion between 1985 and 1994. He called the piece a highly inaccurate hit job. He said it was fake news. He went on to explain, quote, real estate developers in the 1980s and 1990s, more than 30 years ago, were entitled to massive write-offs. He went on to say that all real estate developers did this, often renegotiating with banks. They considered it sport. It was just the normal thing they did. According to the Times, Trump lost so much money over that time that he was able to avoid paying income tax for 8 years.
Here's my feeling with all tax and all tax records. Everybody, I have these conversations with my accountant all the time. I'm sure Rob does. Anyone who makes money, the government wants an inordinate chunk of your money, an insane amount of your money. That's what they want. And then your job is to do everything that doesn't get you audited or arrested in front of that. There are no other rules.
Everything legal that you can do. Especially in the state of California, we have a super majority of Democrats, who literally will just continue to invade your personal space and your life and your business, and there's just nothing holding them back. And it's like they raised up the taxes and said, I remember Governor Brown, we're going to raise it up to 13.3% for those wealthy, crazy people, and then we're going to, but it's only going to be temporary. Now they extended it to 2030. It's like, it's crazy.
Well, here's the thing. So in terms of Trump, you can make an argument that he's a bad businessman. That's fine. The illegal part or the immoral part, the part where it's like, well, should you have been doing that? You should do everything you can possibly do right up to the edge of getting arrested in taxes. And it's what everyone does, every corporation and anyone with an ounce of brains would do. And it's not because you're a bad person or unpatriotic. They fired the first shot. They wanted a huge amount of your money, and you're basically trying to get your 52% down to 41%. That's essentially your battle. You're trying to do everything they feel entitled to. Every time you turn a profit, everything they want from you, you have to try to fight it. But you have to stay in these boundaries.
If you have money and you dare complain about it, like it was the golfer Mickelson was complaining about how crazy the high taxes are in the state, and he had to apologize for feeling like this is his money. And I don't want to have to give it all back to the state of California for just the benefit of living in the state of California.
He works his ass off playing golf, sometimes 3 times a week,
and left-handed, by the way, left-handed, which is like the opposite for the way that these courses are built.
He's got to do that move over and over again, where he puts the dime down to mark his ball. He has to bend down, pick up the ball, then bend down again.
He doesn't have anybody carrying his bags. No, wait, he does have a guy carrying his bags. I'm sorry.
He has to oftentimes mix lemonade and iced tea together and enjoy that
and
in
that
the clubhouse.
doesn't account the work he does in commercials for drug companies of drugs that he doesn't use.
This guy hits the whites only country club and slaves away in the hot sun every day to make this money, only to have the state of California snatch it away from his hands.
But he earned it.
It's criminal.
It's his money.
I agree.
No.
All right.
Well, speaking of Trump, Billy Bush, you remember, the TV host whose career was derailed by the leak of that 2005
I don't know why he got
I never
broadsided
understand why he got torpedoed. I mean, I understand he was
something
there.
crazy, but if somebody says something crazy, I guess you should have to say, that's outrageous. How dare you say that? You can't just go, well, whatever,
Nobody,
It's not the only reason, but he made the mistake of apologizing.
Oh, he should never. Look,
that's Trump's thing. Never apologize.
Never did. Look, everyone has been there. Everybody has been in that position, especially if you played organized sports. There's like 30 nut jobs on your team where they just say horrible things, and you go, "Oh yeah, man," I feel. And then you leave, and you go, "I'm not hanging out with that guy," or "That's over, done."
Right.
Like his exchange.
I'm not driving in a car with that guy either. You get
right. You just go, "I'm done with that guy." But I don't stand there and verbally settle his hash. First off, Trump's got 18 inches and 122 pounds on Billy Bush. Like, you're not going to corner the guy in the motorhome and explain to him what he's done wrong.
You're out of line.
You just laugh and then you move on.
Yeah, and then get out of there.
Well, also, Trump was jovial when he was saying it. Like, he wasn't threatening. I know the news stories like he threatened to rape women or assault women, but he
did use the word "let." By the way,
he was posturing.
Women. He didn't say that you can grab. He said women will let you.
Why?
That's the word that's often left out of that conversation.
Why?
Not that I agree with that either, but
no. The way what's done with that story is he is making a pompous statement because that's who he is. He's doing a braggadocious, pompous statement, which is very much, what's Brian say, on brand.
Indeed.
He's making a very on brand Trump statement.
That's a Trump moment. Yeah.
Trump, he's going, oh, who's going to meet us? Oh, I may kiss her. I can't stop myself from kissing her. He didn't kiss her.
Yeah.
He met the girl and he didn't kiss her. Why not? Because he was doing his thing. He was being Trumparian.
I was in
Trumpalonian.
One of the low points of my life, I was actually a judge at one of the Miss USA things, and he said, like, hey, listen, you guys could vote. He owned the whole thing. He said, you could vote for whoever you wanted, but I'm just telling you, if you want America to win Miss Universe, you got to vote for the blonde with the big tits. Oh. If you want her to win, I'm saying it's up to you. You guys vote for whoever you want.
Hold on, is this John Lennon?
No, and I'm watching this and I'm going, what the hell am I doing here? And I said, Yoko, who should we vote for? And she said, you should not vote for that one.
But Billy Bush has got what? I don't get it. Like, somebody tape recorded him. First off,
was it a lav that was on?
You're recording people when they don't have permission to be recorded, and they're not in front of a camera. There's no context for them. Then it's all null and void to me, unless it's a mafia informant. Yes.
Well, not to Billy Bush, because he basically went into hiding for the last 3 years, but he is going to return to TV in the fall. He's going to anchor a new show called Extra.
Called Secret Love. Secret Love.
Extra.
The love is on.
Also,
the love machine.
I want to say this about Billy Bush and Matt Lauer. Once America finds out you don't really do anything, we don't need you.
We're not hankering more Billy Bush in our lives. Like, that's a real void.
Louis C.K. will come back.
Right.
You know, we miss his voice. You know what I mean? Billy Bush, no one's like, I miss him. Or Matt Lauer, you guys read teleprompters.
Respectfully, we're all replaceable. I remember Jay Leno taking me aside one time back when I had a TV show on NBC in the 70s. Hey, we're all replaceable. You think you get another Jay Leno tomorrow? They get another Jay Leno in an hour. You think Tom Cruise? Tom Cruise, they bugging me whenever I get out of here. They get another Tom Cruise by next week. And they're all replaceable. That's the thing about it. Let me tell you something, Adam. They get another Adam Carolla? They get another Adam Carolla in a week.
I didn't even know that name in 1979.
That's his Joe Blow.
Here's the thing. Adam, he's all replaceable.
I love that. All right, one more, Gina Grant.
All right. Tyra Banks is back on the cover of Sports Illustrated after being the first African-American model to grace the cover of the annual swimsuit issue.
Can I say,
is she wearing a burqa like that other girl?
Oh, far from it.
Let me say, all right, let me explain what's going on.
Yes.
Max Bada. Yeah. Gibberish J?
Yeah, why not? She's a nice
Dueling
girl.
Jays?
She's a nice girl.
African American.
Yeah, why not? I'm not going to say anything bad publicly. Why would I want to do that?
She retired the Angel Wings.
She was a very good-looking girl back in the time. She's about, she's gained a little bit of weight, but it's not the weight you have; it's what you do with it. It's the way you hold it.
Max Bada. At some point, I took a picture of Tyra Banks's thank you to the trainer card. It's like a black and white.
You are correct.
I got it somewhere on a computer somewhere. But here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Amy Schumer is an insane narcissist because the whole thing is have a kid, be proud of your kid, do what you want your kid. But then they keep telling, here's the name, and here's the thing, and here's the thing, and here's the thing, and here's the thing.
If you have to feel like you make a public announcement for anything, you're a narcissist.
Tyra Banks, I watched, I don't know how it, maybe I saw it on Extra or something, but in her show, when she was doing her show, she did an episode of her retiring her angel wings.
Oh, yeah.
And she went out there in all her glory.
And
they, on fishing string, they went up to the heavens. And I thought,
And the rafters.
it's just like, I don't know. It seems like it was her. I don't know if it's her idea for an episode of the Tyra Banks show, but she certainly approved of it and did it. And it was like a big whatever.
That's when you know everyone around you is just collecting a paycheck.
And I remember thinking, well, that's a super weird narcissistic thing to do. And then one time I was at a boxing gym.
Yes.
And I had a trainer named Terry. And Terry had he's got his guys up on the wall. And there's a black and white of Joe Rogan. And it says, Terry, you're the best, And he wanted me to sign one. Hey, Terry, couldn't have done it without you. Or you're the best or whatever it is. And then I saw Tyra Banks's. And Tyra Banks's one said, Terry, you made me fast. You made me strong. I stung like a butterfly. I stung like a bee and I flew like a butterfly. Can't nobody fuck with it. She turned it into a soliloquy about herself, which is, it's a simple test. Here's a black and white. Write something nice about the guy who owns the deli. Not you. Not about the way those sandwiches make you feel. Not the way you look in the dry cleaning, but the actual business itself. And you just write something like, hey, you guys are number one in my book, and then you hand it back. You don't do 11 paragraphs on yourself and how hot you are.
But to be that successful at your own given profession, don't you have to have some insane narcissism? Like Joe Morgan at his house, or he used to at least.
Baseball player.
The great Joe Morgan. I mean, unbelievable. He's a guy who scored one time in the World Series from first base on a single. That's how fast and how quick and how smart that guy was. He has sprinklers.
He had the arm that pumped, too, right?
He was an awesome baseball player for the Reds, and also went on. He played for the Giants too, but he had the sprinklers and a good announcer too. He has sprinklers. At least he had sprinklers with every one of his records. It was a baseball shaped sprinklers at his house. We're gonna put some sprinklers out in your house. Yeah, okay. What's special about them? Well, then we're just gonna put just regular sprinklers. Now, why do we put regular sprinklers? Why don't you get like a baseball, iron baseball with all my records on each one of those sprinklers? That way the water can come out, and every time I look out and go, that's my record. That's a record.
Oh, is that John Lennon?
The thing about
I said records.
Records. You said records. And
all right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.